Lord of the Rings. Okay, hello. My name is Jason. I'm going to talk about the franchise of Lord of the Rings. So, I wanted to focus on the content creator and publisher and the audience for the study. So, English author J.R.R. Tolkien. So the first book he ever written was in the early 1930s. So Tolkien was at the time he was pursuing a academic academic career at Oxford. And at a letter later he wrote to his friend. He said that he found a blank. One day he found a blank page, and suddenly inspired, he wrote the words, "In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit." So by the time he completed his first book, the Hobbit, so he passed down the Hobbit. He passed down to his close group of friends for review, and so within that group there is a staff member of George Allen and we is that how you pronounce it? It's a publisher company. So yeah, so one of the founder of this company, he asked his 10-year-old son on how he think of the book. His son absolutely loved it, and then that's why they decided to publish the book.
So a 10-year-old made the decision.
Yeah, you can say that. So the popularity of The Hobbit, published in 1937, had led the company, the publisher, pursuing request a sequel to the book. So at the age of 45, Tolkien began to writing the story, and it took him about 12 years to completely getting done with his story. And then the 3 books was published in 1955, and by the time Tolkien was already 33 years old. And the audience loved it. The book received a lot of awards, and about a recent survey, the book was considered nation's best loved book by the British audience. And Amazon customers voted the book of the millennium. Millennium. Yeah.
The best book in 1,000 years.
Yes. Yeah, so that's pretty big. So by the mid 1960s, the novel had become a culture phenomenon. So I don't know. That's like the post-war. I think that Tolkien reflected on his the days that he created the story. Some of it come from his experience with the first and the Second World War. Yeah. So the Lord of the Rings has been adapted for film, radio, and stage. The book has been adapted for radio for 4 times, and 2 films adaptation has been made off of this book. So 1978, So an animated film was made. You can see here. So some of the screenshots were there. Who have seen the have watched the movie can identify this scene right away. Whereas the hobbits are hiding under the tree, the black riders are hunting for them. So there is wait a minute, let's go back. So someone saw this film and he said, I enjoyed the film, I wanted to know more. And this young man was named Peter Jackson. So after he has watched the film, Peter Jackson went back to read the entire book. And in 1995, when Peter Jackson was working on another project, and he was wondering, he was wrapping up that project, and he was looking for the next one to do, and he wondered why nobody else seems to be doing anything about the Lord of the Rings. So he jumped in, and then for 2 years he fought and sorted out the conflicts with the right, and finally earned the right to make the film. And it took him 14 months to write the scripts. And in 1998, Merrill Max, it's a film company, yeah. It's a
Correct.
the company actually turned him down. They decided not to finance the film for a budget of 150 million. So Jackson at the time went around Hollywood and for 4 weeks, and finally at New Line Cinema, he got the support to make a trilogy. So another interesting factor is at the year of 1997, Jackson has already began storyboarding the series. Yeah, right before he got support from the big guys in Hollywood, he already storyboarding the story.
Probably how he got the funding is he showed people his production designs.
Yeah. Yes. Let's go here. So finally, the production they started to film, and this is some interesting stats from the production. So 48,000 pieces armor and 400 bones, 10,000 arrows, 1,080 pair of hobby feet, and 19,000 custom was made during the production. That's a lot of customs. Also, the entire film period was 438 days. So after they wrapped it up, and then they went back, did a bunch of pickup shoots, and during the time from 2001 to 2004. So the series was shot over 150 different locations with 7 different units to shoot at the same time. And each of the after they shot it, each of the film have a year of post-production time. So each of these film was scheduled to release on December. So they do this year-round thing of post-production. Yes, once the one film is released, the crew immediately work on the other one.
Jason, do you know why that's important?
Yes.
I'm asking you, do you know why that's important? Why a full year is in bold letters?
I think they wanted to make it the Christmas time, yeah, for family to all come out to watch the film. Uh-huh.
Many film post-production services firms are getting crunched to do all of the work after filming anywhere from 6 months down to 3 months
3 months.
to make everything work. And to have the luxury of a full year and knowing that you're going to have another job after the next year gives you the opportunity to create some amazing effects that you wouldn't have if the studio was forcing you to produce the outcome in only 3 months.
Oh, I see. So the people who are working on the project, they know that they're there for the long haul, for at least 3 years.
That's why you have many people from the United States moving to New Zealand only to work on this film because they know they're going to be there for 3 years.
I see. Yeah, and then for the special effects, actually the post production. This is also about the post production. There were for the first movie there were 540 special shots, special effects shots, and the second one is almost 800. And the third movie, The Return of the King, is it's almost 1,500 shots. So in the beginning there were 260 artists, visual effect artists, began to work on the series, and by the time they got to the second one, the number doubled. So they have a whole army of artists to work on the visual effects. So yeah, the crew work long hours, often overnight, to produce this nice special visuals.
Yeah, and that's a nice shot you have to show there actually that shows how they were filmed in front of the green screen and then what the final composite looks like.
Yeah.
All that background didn't exist, or it was filmed in another plate and composited in.
Yeah. And so let's look at this. So the 3 film was on time, released just before the holidays, so the family can come out and enjoy the movie. They're quite long, like this, like 3 hours. The third movie is like 3 hours.
Well, they have two versions of each, theatrical and extended edition.
Yes. Yes. So they cut it short for the movie theaters. And so the 3 of them all received very high review and ranking in various websites and publication. And the Academy absolutely loved it. So the Return of the King won all of it. It's every single of the category they were nominated, they all win for the third one. So this is total 11 for the third. So that's the record. It ties the record held by the movie. One of them is a very old Ben-Hur.
Ben-Hur.
Yeah, the other is Titanic.
And you know Titanic. You know who was the director of that film?
James Cameron.
Cameron. Exactly.
Cameron.
So Peter Jackson is equal in Academy Awards to James Cameron on a single film. That's not a bad credential to have. Avatar, same thing. Yeah, we don't know what Avatar, how many Avatar has won. I have to look at that.
Yeah. Oh, but I know for sure Avatar didn't win for the best picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh? I thought it went the best.
No. Okay, cinema photography. Okay, but it wasn't. They didn't win the best picture. Yeah. So on the dollar side, they did very well. So as you can see, the budget. So initially, Miramax was asked by Peter Jackson to finance it $150 million, and this is the total that he got from New Line Cinema. It's close to 300 millions, and the return is just it's absolutely incredible.
Almost 10x all the way around. It's close to 10x.
Yeah. So yeah. So at the time, the Return of the King was second film to gross over 1 billion worldwide after Titanic. So yeah. And in 2009, a British. This is a fan-made film made in 2009, and it was at some point was published on a sci-fi film website, I guess, and then he received 12 million times of views. It is quite successful. So that brings me to a point that I found is interesting. That J.R. Tolkien, he was the creator of the story, and then Peter Jackson was in the audience, and then Peter Jackson he became the creator of the film, and then one of the fans saw his movie and loved it, and he went off and did another film. So we can see like a circle of the role changes. So
And each one makes it better, each generation after each generation.
And I guess the story just continued to draw people in and boost the creativity. So the last one here, the Hobbits. They're doing it all over again. 3 films and all scheduled release around Christmas, and the first one was last year, and they break $1 billion box office, and this
1 billion with the B.
yeah, 1 billion with the B. And the second one is coming out in a few days, and the last one is next year. And yeah, it's and this time these 3 films are distributed by Warner Brothers. So yeah.
What's significant about this is that they recouped $1 billion in revenue in the first year. The film The Hobbit will continue to incur revenue in DVD and other media, etc. So it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But it made $1 billion in the first box office release year.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's interesting to notice that the budget for the first film is around 300 million. So compared to when they were made, when the first 3 was made, so it tripled the budget. Yeah, that was like like 10 years ago. I guess all the costs are going up and all that. Yeah, so that's the story. It's
So one thing that we had discussed briefly, Jason, before you did the presentation was the copyright ownership.
yeah. I didn't really into this. I read a little bit, and it's really messy. It's really, so I didn't put it into the presentation. But in the
That
time.
would be worth having a
1930s.
1930s plus 50, so around 1979, 1980, the copyright ran out.
Mm-hmm.
So just somewhere around there, it would be interesting to find out what happened and to put a single slide in there about the copyright, because that's why Peter Jackson was trying. It took 2 years to get the rights, because it was all messy and who had it and who's he paying and who actually owns the story anymore. And so that's a significant issue from a publisher's perspective, because in order to own and market and make a film, you have to know who you have to pay for the ownership rights. And if it's not a public domain, then somebody can come back after you and say, well, you made a film on my movie, you didn't pay me, and they can sue you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's worth putting one more slide in there to understand the ownership of the storyline. Just like we saw that the James Bond franchise is still owned by the Broccoli family, even after so many years. It'd be interesting to follow that lineage. It's a story within itself.
Okay. And why the distributor changed from New Line to Warner Brother? Maybe also worth looking into.
Yeah, I double checked, but I believe New Line is owned by Warner Brothers.
Oh, so it's a
I believe it's a
buyout.
subsidiary, and they handed it up to the parent to distribute.
I see.
But I have to confirm that.
Okay.
But I think that would explain why.
Okay. So 80 years of Lord of the Rings.
One story lasting 80 years in all the different media, and we didn't touch on the video games or the straight. You just went straight. It's a clean presentation. It's straight from book to film and adaptations and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I looked up a video game. There's I don't know, nothing really stand out for video games. Yeah.
Okay. Good job, Jason. The story flows very well with what you've done here.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.